Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the 9 Day Fiance Season 8 Episode 14 and 15 review. I apologize for not uploading a video last week on Episode 14. I was not feeling great. I did not sleep for like 3 days. I think I slept 7 hours over the course of the 3 days. So when I woke up Thursday, I was sick. I felt just sick and I just was not feeling great. So I apologize. So before we begin, spoiler alert for anyone who has not had a chance to watch Sunday's episode. Don't watch if you don't want to be spoiled. I hope you guys have been having a good week and a half now. Almost week and a half. It's not been bad for me, besides me having no energy last week. But hey, we did yard work yesterday and today, because it's supposed to rain for like the next 3-4 days down here. Yay! Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so quick recap of episode 14. Because I could not fully remember everything until they had the recap. So we did not see Brandon and Julia last Sunday in episode 14, but we did see them in this episode. If y'all remember, they had that huge fight about him not wanting to walk down the aisle and not wanting to have a ceremony, and then being a sarcastic prick about it. We also saw Mike and Natalie. They said they were going to have their wedding, and then boom, the next day it was canceled. Rebecca and Zied, they are apparently on their way to the altar. She is not happy about giving in to the Ramadan marriage, and I don't blame her because I would not be. Amira and Andrew, she is in Serbia right now to do the 14-day quarantine before flying out to the U.S., and she's been fearful. There's a lot of riots out there. Well, during this filming, there were a bunch of riots, and she couldn't really go anywhere, so she had to leave to go get food and all that stuff because it did not have room service. But of course, we also can't forget that Andrew said that he wanted a vague promise of kids in the future, and Amira said that depends on you. If they were going to fight, they literally had the 90 days to get, why say 90 days? I think she had like 3 weeks, a month left on her visa. So really, it wasn't even a lot of time to figure out if they were even going to be compatible to get married. And then not to mention, if they did get married, would they be compatible still afterwards, living together for a year, 6 months, 2 years, and then having kids, which is a smart way to go about it if you do not know. Jovi and Yara. So, in my last video, I was massively concerned about Jovi and the stripper who was forcing his hand with his friend to go up there. He said they had a private dance he did not touch, and he stumbles home at 1:30 in the morning, and Yara is pissed, and he is drunk, and he hasn't even packed yet, and she was just not having it. So she was massively pissed and saying that she wanted to go back to the Ukraine at the end of the 14th episode. Tariq and Hazel, he decided that he was going to talk to another girl who is a friend of his, from what he says, from the Philippines. And she has been blowing up his phone recently. And of course, he's acting like it's not a big deal, but it is. Especially if they've never called your phone before, they've never texted you before, and then all of a sudden they're calling you at, say, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a little fishy. All right, so of course, he apologized after that, and so far they are good, and they are on their way to getting married, I guess, in the next Sunday's episode, which appears on the 28th. Let me think. Brandon, Julia. Oh, I'm sorry. Stephanie, Ryan / Harris. So we all know that Ryan and Stephanie are not together anymore. So instead, she's been spending all of this time in Belize with Harris. So Harris is talking like he loves her. He can't wait to, be in the U.S. with her. Him and the baby mama are broken up. They're not together. All this stuff back and forth. And I'm like, just go home, Stephanie. Don't even bother about Harris. He still has a bunch of stuff to work out. Obviously, if him and the baby mama do end up back together, because that's what he says. He says that they're together and they're not together, but they're not really together because she's got boyfriends. And I'm like, no, Stephanie, just go home. Just go home back to Michigan and find somebody else. Is that it? Is that everybody? Brandon, Julia, Andrew, and Amira, Jovi, Yara. I don't think I'm missing anybody. If I am, I do apologize. All right, now, Sunday's episode. We'll go ahead and start with Mike and Natalie. The whirlwind of basically the last 15 minutes of the episode was Natalie trying to leave to go to a hotel to fly to France the next day because her and Mike are over. So Mike bought her a ticket to go to France, and from there she was going to figure out where she needed to go there to get back home. Well, he never gave his friend the credit card to check into the hotel, which I will say this. I'm going to say this because I think that I was so pissed off at his friend because the neighbor was intentionally saying, was intentionally like, we're just going to go. Obviously, we don't need his credit card, yada, yada. And then Mike starts texting the neighbor while they're driving that he never gave the credit card, so they have to go back. At this point, Natalie's already emotional. She's distraught. And then, of course, the friend parks the truck while he gets the credit card. And he's like, can I have the ring back? Can I have a hug? And I will say this. Right now. I agree with Natalie keeping the ring. No, I don't think she's going to sell it. But I do believe that she needs to hold on to it as a reminder of what really happened, I guess. I am really against Mike right now because Natalie basically said that she is choosing to trust him. She's choosing to let everything go. She's choosing to be whatever. And he said, well, I still don't forgive you. And at that point, like I said in the video review, I would not have even accepted the ring if you're going to be pissy because I'm asking you if you forgive me or not so we can start over. Start over, clean slate. Let's work on our issues, figure out if we want to get married. And then he said, we are getting married. They were getting married. And then he calls it off. And I think in that very moment, even though I had been against Natalie since season 7, and when she came over and started harping on his weight and how low class he was, I genuinely felt bad for her. I mean, no, I totally think that she should keep the ring. Yet, yes, she gave it back to him in season 7, but he gave it back to her saying, let's get married, and then just calls it off. Yeah, I'd keep the ring too. Now, his neighbor, Tamara, literally just parking the car so Mike could keep on and on and on. I mean, I think at that point I would have said, if you're not going to take me, then I'll find somebody else too because I don't want to hear it. Natalie did not want to hear Mike ask for a hug. Oh, I didn't give you the credit card on purpose. Why are you doing this to me? Blah, blah. Just go. Take Natalie to the airport so she can go home. So, anyways, of course, and we see in the next preview that she has to go back to Mike's because they won't accept the credit card with another person's name on it. Now, can they do that? Because I think that I have paid, forever ago. I think that I've used my mom's credit card as proof that, we pay for the hotel and they never had an issue. I don't know, maybe stuff's changed now. But either way, I am massively, massively ticked at Mike, at Tamara, and I am just so upset for Natalie right now. She just wants to go. She's upset, she's hurt, and that is just not happening. All right, so Jovi and Yara. So, as we all know, that Yara is massively pissed at Jovi right now, and he is basically spending more time with his friends than her, which I know we all need our friends. We all have our relationships outside of our relationship, blah, blah, blah. But he has not really prioritized Yara at all the entire season. He has been more, I want to go out, I want to party. And she's like, I'm pregnant, I want to stay in. And I mean, if any of y'all have ever been pregnant, it does that to you. The first trimester, oh my God, the third trimester is just worse. It is a never ending, you feel like the pregnancy is never going to end in the third trimester. But you feel tired, you feel drained. All you want to do is just sit and watch TV or take a nap or watch a movie or something. But Jovi hasn't really understood that when you're with somebody, you have to prioritize them. I'm just saying, you have to prioritize your relationship over your friends. Just saying. All right, so of course, Yara has already mentioned that she wants to go back to the Ukraine, but she doesn't. She leaves a voice message, and then, after they get to the hotel, of course, his friends are like, let's go to the bar. And Yara says, no, you're not prioritizing me or the baby or the fact that we're going to get married like tomorrow. She wants to be first. And he says, okay, will that hold? I have no idea, because Jovi's, he's like half and half trying sometimes. So I'm kind of hoping, by this point, that they get married. I saw that they apparently do, but I won't believe it till I actually see it. All right, so Tariq and Hazel. So we all know they were having issues, and now they are not having issues. Now they are fine. They are throwing a bachelorette party for Hazel with a female stripper, and she walks in, obviously, in, the half naked, and his friend just says, this child walked in naked, and it was funny. It was hilarious. And not our cup of tea, and then she goes. Now, I will say this. Hazel wanting to add a girlfriend to the mix of their relationship is still a bad idea, because I feel like they still need to work on their issues before adding another person. And also, if Tariq seems to know what kind of person Hazel likes, why are they not searching for that? Why are they searching for girls compromised with both of them when Tariq only likes Thai women? So I don't know. If he already knows what kind of woman Hazel likes, then that's who they should be looking for. Not everybody else. Granted, her coming out to her parents, her mom wasn't very receptive, but her dad just said okay. Sorry. Her dad just said okay, and so far so good. So I think they get married in the next episode. Will they last? I have no idea, because honestly, I kind of feel like, while I'm not in a poly relationship, I don't know if adding another female to the mix before they really know each other is a good idea. Especially since Hazel gets jealous. Massively jealous. And insecure. So I don't know. I feel like if all she wants is a girlfriend, then she doesn't need to be with Tariq. Same. Alright, Brandon and Julia. So at this point, Brandon has made it very clear that he does not think he's ready for marriage. And I guess I would be really upset for Julia, because she's gung-ho with marrying Brandon, but he's not. He is obviously showing cold feet in the marriage department, and him and Julia end up in a fight over it, over him basically saying that he'll just sign the paperwork and then go from there. So I don't know. I'm hoping that Julia says, screw off, and she leaves, because don't waste time. Life is too short to waste time. I mean, you gonna drag her there for almost 3 months and then basically say, I don't know if I want to get married, or that stuff isn't for me and all this stuff is for you. No. Then you need to find you somebody who just wants to sign a piece of paper with you, and then that's it. Because Julia obviously wants a wedding ceremony. She wants a dress, she wants the shoes, she wants a cake, she wants to walk down the aisle in a church, and if Brandon doesn't want that, then he needs to let her go. So, just gonna say it. Alright, Andrew and Amira, which came as no shock to me or anyone else who was on social media commenting on it. Amira and Andrew are over. Are they officially over? I really hope so. So, we see in the Andrew's point of view that Amira has missed her flight. She said she had a panic attack and missed it. But then we see on her side that she was heading to the airport, and he started saying that she was untrustworthy and things were not working out between them. and he bought her a ticket. So she had to choose a ticket, either America or go back to France. And I will say this, every suspicion I had about Andrew was correct. He was trying to control and manipulate her, and I swear, I really hope that Amira does not give him a second chance. She ended up having a panic attack, was crying, and said that she was going to go, and he just said, you need to make your choice, and that was that. And if not, then send the rings back. Well, then when she missed the flight, he said, mail the rings back, and that was it. They were over. And that was it. They're over. And I was just like, what? Like, it happened so quick. I don't even think I really registered that they were not together until she was crying and saying that she thought that he was the one and she was going to try. And Andrew just said no. So she's heading back to France, I think. I hope. I swear I really hope. So that was upsetting. That was really upsetting. All right, so. Oh my God, my hair. Okay. Stephanie and Harris / Ryan. So obviously we know that Stephanie leaves to go back to Michigan like the next day. So literally she has been spending time with Harris. And then of course she's talking about how she went on his Facebook to get more pictures of himself and him. And then she sees 3 weeks ago how him and the baby mama are at his birthday, and she looks all happy and in love, and they got a picture together. But then she's upset about that, but then Ryan is still calling her at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and she's basically saying that she always takes Ryan back. He always does this, and almost making Harris compete for her. I will say this. I don't believe anybody is worth competing over. If she wants to get back with Ryan, that is his own. That is her own choice. Do we think that she should? No. Do we think she should be with Harris? No. We just want Stephanie to go back home to Michigan and call it a day. So I don't know. Her being all jealous and untrusting of Harris and his baby mama when Ryan is still contacting her is for the birds. Of course, it was funny. Of course, I'm sure we all laughed when Harris took the $100 bill and asked if it was real. Yes, Harris, that is what the $100 bills look like now. They are all nice and new looking. All right, so am I missing anybody? Ryan and Stephanie, Mike and I guess that's it. Is that everybody? All right, so as far as we know, everyone is supposed to be getting married tomorrow except for Mike and Natalie. Unless they throw this huge whirlwind of a plot twist and they end up getting married in the last episode. That'd be interesting. But as far as I know, that is everybody. And I hope that everybody is still rooting for their couples they've been rooting for. I wasn't so sure about Jovi and Yara, but I kind of want them to kind of get there. I want Brendan and Julia to break up if he really just wants to sign the paperwork and not have a ceremony. Amira needs to go home. That's that in the story. So if I didn't miss anybody, that should be it. So once again, I apologize for this video being basically shoved into 2 episodes. So next week, I promise it will be uploaded. We should have no issue. I hope. I say that. If that is it, I hope you guys continue to have a good week, and I'll see y'all next time.